snowmageddon situation that happened. I love seeing everybody's stories. It was absolutely gorgeous. If we could have avoided the pipes and the water and the situations, that would have been dreamy. And I could take it for exactly one day each year, Texas. That's all I can handle and muster out. But I'm glad to see everybody is safe and healthy and happy. And super pumped for Coach Q&A today. I'm gonna let Jackie take over from here.
All right. Super excited that Kristin Bourgeois is going to be our Q&A person for tonight. As most of you know, she has an amazing transformation. She is also somebody who I tried to get to hop into this with me for years, literally years. So those of you who feel like you consistently get no's or feel like people are watching you, but they're like, no, 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 I'm telling you, they're watching you for a purpose. And Kristin is a perfect example of that. And since signing on, even through the biggest struggles of her life, she is like surpassing so many huge milestones. Like, I get emotional talking about it. But she is a rock star in my eyes, and literally hold her up on a pedestal because she blows my mind. It's awesome. But she answered a couple of the Q&As, or you guys put some questions in the little invite thing. And I think she has a lot of those prepared. So are you ready to go for it, Kristin?
Ready as I'm ever going to be. Hi guys, I'm Kristin. Jackie is correct. Jackie was two of my kids' elementary school music teacher. And so that's how I met her, and I followed her on Instagram, and when she says I told her no for years, I literally told her no for years, over and over and over again. And I started in May of 2019 on keto, and she would still message me, and I'm like, girl, I'm good. I'm happy for you, but I'm still good. And then when keto kind of like just got to a point in the spring where it wasn't working for me anymore, and I was in a really, really super dark place come June, Jackie was just this consistent ray of light in my Instagram feed. And I reached out to her and said, I just need help. I don't know what. Give me the biggest package there is, but I want you to know I'll never order Shakeology again. I mean, I literally told her, like, when I started off. And then within a few weeks, I already knew that I wanted to join her team because I could see the culture that she had created and how I just needed that kind of connection. So that's kind of how I got started in everything. Because somebody asked me how I got started in my journey. 3 takeaways from the 2B mindset. So if you watch me at all, you know that I go super hardcore 2B mindset. I actually was a Beachbody coach years ago in 2012 from a girl that signed me up and then never spoke to me again, which was not fun. But I tried to do UPF, and it was so like restrictive for me that like it just didn't jive with like my personality. And so when Jackie offered me the choice of UPF or 2B mindset, I had never even heard of 2B mindset, but I was like, no, that really sounds like something I'm interested in. And so for me, it was that missing puzzle piece of somebody finally helping me work on my relationship with food in a way that I've never worked on my relationship with food before, because I'm an emotional eater. I was a binge eater. I did a lot of it in private, and I didn't talk. I mean, obviously I wore it because you could see it on the outside of me, but I didn't talk about it with people. But my 3 biggest takeaways from the 2B mindset are: mindset is the biggest piece of your nutrition journey. Like, if you can't get that part right, everything else is going to be really hard for you to work on. Finally, seeing the scale as a tool and not something that I have to be scared of when I step on it every single day, but like as a data point for like what works for my body and what doesn't. And then no restrictions. Like, as soon as I'm restricted, I'm going to go off the rails, and that's really not helpful for me. So knowing that, like, if I choose to have a treat, I don't have to go into this all or nothing mindset and ruin my entire nutrition for a week because now I'm going to have the pizza and the brownies and the hamburger because I ruined my diet on a Friday night. So that piece has been a huge takeaway. So if you have any challengers that struggle with that all or nothing mindset, 2B mindset is so helpful for getting them back to where they need to be with making the next best decision. I had a question for: how do I stay so consistent with a busy life? So I am a middle school special education teacher. And not only that, I work with some of the toughest kids on campus. My kids are the ones that have emotional and behavioral disorders. And so, like, you know, that is not an easy job by any stretch of the imagination. And then you add pandemic level teaching on top of that, and it kind of takes it to the nth degree. I'm also in grad school getting my master's degree in special education, and I have 3 teenage kids, and I'm coaching on top of everything. So like I'm really, really busy. So for me, consistency with my busy life is like a non-negotiable routine. I get up at 4:30 every day. That is a non-negotiable for me. I'm typically on the Zoom working out by 5. I get my workout done as soon as I can. And then I spend about 30 or 45 minutes in the morning doing connections and coach work and personal development. And that's like, if I don't start my day that way, my whole day just completely, I can notice a huge difference in my own mental health and how I deal with my kids and like just how I deal at work and everything. So consistency with the busy life is just showing up every day and like making that a non-negotiable. I can tell you right now, I'm not really in a place where I can get super personal about like what's going on in my life, but I can tell you that I am experiencing the hardest season of my entire adult life right now. And personal development has saved my life. When I look back to where I was back in June and to where I am now, personal development and making that a non-negotiable every day has changed the entire trajectory of my life, not just from a business sense, but from a personal sense, and understanding my worth and what I deserve and what I can choose to make my life out to be. And I get to be in control of that. And I was so scared of everything. And I would have never had the courage to take the steps forward to do everything that I need to do in my life to be in a good place if I hadn't really gotten in and dug deep into the things in my life that I had to like work on. So if you've been like not doing the personal development part of things, you need to up your game in that department, because I'm telling you, it will change everything for you. The hardest part of my journey and how it helps my challengers, I would say that how busy I am and how much on my plate is the hardest part of my journey, because it would be really easy for me to say, I don't have time to do this. I can skip this workout. I can have this cheat meal and nobody will know. I'm busy. I deserve this. And I could use that as an excuse, but I try to use that as a way to say, if I can have this plate full of what feels like 8 million things and be dealing with like really devastating personal stuff, then there's really no excuse for anybody to not be able to get things done. Not in a negative way. I don't want to discount that like we're all busy and we have things and life gets in the way, but you can also make choices to make your, like set your priorities and just commit to those and go all in. So I try to leverage that with my challengers and say, like, I know you've got a lot going on, but like, what's one thing we can make sure that you prioritize today? And then once they start doing that, then we can work on adding other things into. One thing that I feel like has really been good for me is my group. When I started, I remember I asked Jackie, I was like, okay, where's the To Be Mindset group? Like, where do we do this? And she was like, girl, we don't have that. And I was like, I'm going to make one. So I just branched out on my own. I didn't ask like permission or what I should do. I grabbed a handful of people and said, please do this with me. I want to start. I put my mom in the group, even though my mom never bought anything from me, but I was like, Mom, I need you to have my back. Let's go. Come on. And so I started a group with like 2 or 3 women, and then it just kept growing and it kept growing and it kept growing. And I've made changes along the way, and I'm sure I've made mistakes too, but that's my little community, and it's my heart and my soul. And when I look at that community, I think I'm an Emerald coach. And when Rachel asked me to speak, I thought, my first thought in my head was, I don't need to be speaking. I'm just an Emerald coach. Like that limiting belief that I kept telling myself for years and years and years. But then I started thinking about it, like, I'm still a successful coach as an Emerald, and I know that I'm going to be a diamond, and it may not be next week and it may not be next month, but I am going to be a diamond coach, and I'm going to have a successful team. And the way that I set that up is creating this group of people that think the way about nutrition and fitness and feel about it the way that I do, and who trust me, so that we create this culture that then empowers them to make those same kind of decisions. And then they see the value of Shakeology, and they see the value of, okay, well, if she can do this and this helped her on her journey and with her accountability, then I can do that too. So I'm cultivating coaches within this group that I'm being super intentional and relational with. So it may not be that I have, you know, all this instant success of like rank advancement and stuff like that in the beginning, but I have faith that my daily activities and the small things that I do every single day are going to build that community for me. And I make that my priority every single day. So for my content in my group, number one, being intentional and being relational is the single most important thing that you can do. Your challengers have to know that it's not just, I want you in my group and then I'm never gonna like interact with you or do anything again. I try to come up with ways to keep them engaged and make sure that they know that I'm there for them. But I also am a believer in like, you've got to put the effort in too. I'm not gonna go chase you down. I really just do not have time for that. But I do weekly say, listen, I'm here for you. What do you need from me? Is that a video conference? Do we need to chat? Do we need to just text back and forth? And I post it every Sunday and I'm like, if you need a check-in, I need you to let me know. And then we kind of go from there. And I have women that say, I just need to video chat with you and I just need to touch base about things. And that's what we do. And then I have others that are like, I just wanted to send you a text message and say, this is what happened, or, you know, that sort of thing. So everybody's kind of at their own different level. But I did have a lady check in with me this week who has lost 50 pounds since September, and she's not exercising. Just with 2B mindset, she's lost 50 pounds since September, which to me, that's just completely amazing. I also do an optional messenger thread, just like we have a coaching message thread and like for different teams and things like that. I don't ever want to force that on anybody, but I just let all of my challengers know, if you want to up your accountability, if you want a little more instantaneous access to me throughout the day, then you can join this little pod. And so out of my 37 women that I now have in my group, I have about 10, 11 where they post in there, I post in there, we can touch base with each other. And I think that helps with that connection piece a little bit more too. I try to do fun things like with the group, just things that I find, like we did Rachel Hollis's last 90 days at the end of last year, where we did like the last 90 days, we did 5 to Thrive. And I just adjusted those to the 2B mindset. And every day we checked in with each other about like, are you showing gratitude? Did you track your food? Did you do your water? And in January, we started reading Ilana's book, You Can Drop It. So like doing like a little book club thing. So I try to find ways to incorporate new and kind of fun and interesting things to keep them engaged. Someone asked about, you know, engagement in groups. I think we all experience this. Engagement ebbs and flows. Like sometimes they're gung-ho and they're going all in and it's great. And then there are other days I'm scratching my head and I'm like, where are you? What is going on? But I do, when I notice that they're quiet, I usually will go in and post a video. And I'm like, hey, I don't know about you, but this is what's going on with me. And like trying to let them see that like I'm feeling the same way they are. And then I ask for them to comment or whatever on the video after you've watched it. And then I notice that engagement tends to pick up after that. So if you start to see that it gets quiet, I encourage you to go in there and like just post a video. They just want to hear you. They just want to know that you're there and that you're thinking about them. I think that really goes a long way. For my new challengers, I took Rachel's PDF that she made, the Getting Started Guide, and I just adjusted it with my own information and to fit my group. And I pinned that in the top of my group. And so when I have a new challenger that signs up, the first thing I do is get them plugged into my group and I assign them, that's their first assignment. They go in, they read through the Getting Started Guide, and I ask them to come back with me with like, I want you to ask me 2 questions when you're done so that I know that they've read it and I know that they're being curious about what it is that they need to do. And then I start them on the 2B Mindset videos while they're waiting on their materials to come in so that they've at least gotten that education piece down and they can hit the ground running once all of their package and things like that comes in. Someone asked about customer retention. I think I talked about this before. I just feel like customer retention is repeatedly showing the value of what we offer to them, being relational and intentional. Like I can't tell you how many times I get messages from women that say, I wish you were my coach because I can't talk to my coach about this, or my coach just does this. And when I ask her a question, she doesn't respond. And so like, it makes me sad when I hear that. And I know we all do things differently. But like, that's my biggest piece is that relational, and that's that teacher heart. I mean, you guys know, we talk about this all the time. This is heart work. And so I just try to meet them where they're at. And I can tell which ones need more and which ones are kind of okay for me to not be as like kind of checking in as much. Someone asked me about the key to my success, and the one word that kept popping into my head is consistency. The thing that I say all the time in my stories is you just have to show up for yourself, whatever that looks like. And I can tell you that for the last 9 weeks, I mean, I just finished 9-week Control Freak on Saturday, and I would be lying if I told you that my nutrition was perfect and that I knocked every workout out of the park. Guys, sometimes it took everything I had to get myself up out of bed, upright, and get moving in the morning. But I did it. I showed up. If I only had 20%, I gave 100% of that 20% in my workout, and I did the absolute best I can. And that's what you have to do every single day. You have to show up authentically. You have to show your heart. You have to dig deep into what you felt like before you started. What did you need someone to say to you to get you up off the couch and moving and give you hope? Because those are the things that you then share in your stories that are going to speak to your ideal client, and then they will come find you. I get super weirded out with inviting. I'll be 100% honest, because I have been on the recipient of so many hey girl messages that it makes my hair stand up on end when I get one. And so I never want to come off that way. But one thing that I'm most proud of is that I would say 90% of the people that are my customers or my clients or my coaches reached out to me because they saw me share something that spoke to them. And that makes that connecting part easy. Not all of them messaged me and said, hey, what are you doing? I want to start today. Some of them said, oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration. This is great. What are you doing? Talk to me about it. And then I never heard from them. And then I just kept following up. Hey, I've been thinking about you. I know you said you wanted to do this. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer those or whatever. I never stopped following up. And I had a girl sign up last week who we've connected and talked for 5 out of the 8 months that I've been doing this, just over and over and over again. And every time she would not follow through. And then finally last week, she literally sent me a message that said, I want to buy it because I look at you and I can see what a difference it's made in your life. And I want that for myself. And that's not because I'm saying, look at me, I've lost all this weight, which is great. I try to every day find some sort of value in the way that I feel and share that with through my stories. I'm not super great at planning out ahead. I love to look at all the stuff that we get off. I mean, the training that we get in this team is absolutely second to none. And I use it to kind of spark ideas. But to be perfectly honest with you, a lot of what I share on a daily basis comes very organically to me. When I'm in the middle of a workout and I hear Autumn say something, I think, oh my gosh, that really speaks to my soul. And then I just kind of ruminate on that throughout the whole workout. What does that mean to me? What does that look like in my life? How can I use this to push me? And then when I get to my workout stories, I share what she said, and then I share how that's changed my life and how that can change theirs as well. So I know Angela posted, how do you come up with your workout stories, your content? A lot of it really just comes as I'm working out, things that I'm thinking about or how I'm feeling and how I can relay that to someone else. Someone asked about my story views. I have about 150 to 200 story views a day, I think, on average. And I've reached out to a lot of those people, and some of those people are like, no, I'm good. I have a coach, but I love your page and I love the food you share and I love to watch all your success. And then I've also had people that I didn't even know on Instagram that messaged me and were like, oh my gosh, I want to do this and you look amazing and let's go. So there's a lot of different feedback I get from people on my stories. Another thing to do on your stories is I use my PD. I try to find a nugget in my PD for that morning. And then I also think about how I could put that in my workout stories as well. So if I don't hear anything from the trainer, then I'll think, well, what did I read this morning that really spoke to me and how can I share that today? And that's what I'll put on my workout stories. Somebody also asked about Ultimate Portion Fix. I literally have never done it. So I think that, if someone came to me and that's what they wanted to do, I would make it work. But I think most people are attracted to me because of what I share about 2B mindset. So, I don't have anybody that's done UPF. Everybody that's joined me does 2B mindset. And a lot of that goes back and forth in the questioning and those connections in the conversations guide, like Rachel shares with us about asking questions about what works best for you. Just like when Jackie asked me, she's like, are you more flexible or do you want more structured and that sort of thing. You know, I'm all about flexible, like hodgepodging dinners together and throwing what, like I'm not a meal prepper. So like it just, to be mindset really speaks to my soul. The other thing is my group. I only have one group. I don't have a separate veterans and newbies group. What I really like is that I find my veterans starting to step up and help the newbies as they come in and they share their experiences. And to me, that's where I see my coaches. Like when I see them start to say, hey, you know, this is what I did, or somebody will ask a newbie will ask a question and they'll say, oh, well, this is what worked for me. That's a really good segue into saying, you know what, I see how you've been supporting new challengers that have been coming in here. You would make a fantastic coach. And this is also how it's going to benefit you. So it's like, it just opens up more of those conversations for you to start building that culture of coaches within your group. And that does take that's a little hard because I have to balance like really supporting the newbies to make sure they get everything that they need, but then also like incorporating the veterans and the ones that have been in there at a time. But I find that, you know, I usually don't have so many newbies at one time that it makes it hard for me. I just do lots of extra check-ins with them to make sure that they are feeling like they're supported and they have everything that they need. Value and someone asked how I build value and a sense of community within my group. I think it's really important to find your own voice and to kind of like do you. Like everybody in here has amazing ideas and we've got, you know, lots of really good foundational things that we can do as coaches. But I think that you're going to find so much more success when you trust what you feel and what you want to do. If Jackie would have said, you know, no, we don't have a 2B mindset group, and I would have let my initial fear of, oh, well, then I'm just not going to do that. I don't think I would have the success that I had today. But I had to step through that fear and say, no, this is what I want. This is how passionate I am about 2B mindset, and I'm going to share it with other people because my dream is to have this big, huge, thriving community of people that all just really like go hard and feel super strongly about 2B mindset and have all this crazy success. And you know, it started really small and I just want it to get bigger. Like that's my dream. But you gotta you just can't let those fears get in your way. You've got to be your own person. And use all the stuff that we're given, but then also give it your own voice. Like you got to not be afraid to be yourself. You've got to be open and honest with your challengers. I mean, guys, I went 22 out of 26 hours without power between Monday and Tuesday. I was by myself with my 11-year-old managing this house and lost water. Just about had a nervous breakdown. Everything in my house is electric. So when the power was out, I had nothing. We just had nothing. I was very honest with my people in my group. I was like, I need a couple days. I'll be back in a couple days, but I just need some time to process. This is really hard. Things are crazy. But I think that they love that. They love when you share your struggles because they want to know that you are a real person. I'm not perfect. Have I had a lot of success? Yes, because the majority of the time I show up, I do the absolute best I can. It doesn't mean I don't stumble, but I just pick myself up and I keep myself going. And when you share that with your challengers, it makes them believe that they can have those struggles too, but they can still be successful. And then ask for feedback. You know, it's just like as a teacher, we have to have feedback on how we are in the classroom. Ask your challengers, what can I do for you? What can I do differently? What works really well in here? And be okay with hearing the honest feedback. If they feel like this isn't working, okay, well, look at it and see what can I do? What can I change to make it better? Because it's just gonna add more value in the long run for your challengers. My biggest success as a coach it's twofold. One of them is a personal development. I was paralyzed by fear. I have been paralyzed by fear for the majority of my adult life. And I did not believe that I deserved to have a life where I was able to put myself, I'm gonna get emotional, able to put myself at the forefront and make choices and decisions that speak to my heart and just like speak to who I am and let me share that with the world. I shrunk myself into a shell and hid from everything because I was terrified. And I read Fear is My Homeboy and it changed my life. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm scared every day. I am scared every day, and I feel it and I acknowledge it, and then I just do it. And then what I have found is that it's not near as big and hairy and scary as I thought it was going to be. You just hit post and you put it out there, and I don't care what people think about me anymore. I don't care. I'm doing me. I am successful. I am happy. I am in the hardest season of my life, and I'm the happiest that I've ever been. I got to quit a part-time job that I worked 16 hours a week. I taught for 40 hours a week, and then I worked 16 hours a week at home on a computer where I had to ignore my family, and I was sedentary, and it was miserable, mindless work, but I did it because we needed the money. And within 3 months, I doubled that income with Beachbody, and I got to quit that job. And it saved my life. I did that for 4 years. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work from 5 to 7. I would run out the door at 7:15. I would teach from 8 to 4, and I would come home and I would work from 8 to 10 at night. That was my life. I had no life. And this completely changed everything for me. So that's it. Those are all my questions.
You are so amazing. You're so inspiring. And I've told Kristin many times, when I watch her stories, like I get so much value out of it. I feel so inspired. And I've told her this before, I'm like, man, if I was not already a coach, I would sign up with you. So thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. It's really so inspiring, and congratulations on all of your success as well. Thank you so much, Kristin. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and do some Success Club recognition. So it is the 21st. I believe next Sunday is the last day of the month. So one more week left to lock in your Success Club goals for the month. Remember, if you're a newer coach, Success Club is when you help at least 3 new people get set up with a challenge pack and or something like Shakeology on Home Direct. And it's just a goal that you want to have every month in your business, so that you know you're building your business, you're moving it forward, you're also getting your own product paid for and then some. And when you achieve Success Club in 3 of the first 6 months of your business, you're officially a success starter. And there's lots of additional perks that come with that as well, in addition to hitting Success Club every month. So congratulations to Angela, who is at Success Club 18. That means she's helped 9 people so far this month. And Leah at Success Club 9, Miriam and Caitlin and Aaron, both at Success Club 8, and Shauna, Kristin, who we just heard from, and Laura, who are at Success Club 6. And we have lots of other people on the board this week. Don't forget, if you're participating in Team Cup, to use those $10 off promo codes that you got. Congratulations to brand new Emeralds from the last 2 weeks. Erica, Robin, Deanne, and Angela. Emerald is one of the most important ranks in your business. It opens you up to a whole new earning potential. You have our retail or commission, but Emerald lets you basically earn money off of not only the team that you build, but also the team that you already are a part of. So if you're not already an Emerald coach, Emerald ASAP, and hold it. Make sure that you always hold it so that you can still have that additional earning. And then big congrats to Danny, who is halfway through her 6 weeks of diamond qualification. She is in week 3 of that. And that is all the recognition that I have tonight. Raquel or Jessica, anything else?
Great job. Thank you so much, Kristin, for being honest and sharing your heart. These are so impactful. I love them. You did an amazing job. Hope everybody has a safe and fabulous week pulling your life together. Extra water, drink it, save it. And I'll see you guys on the social. Bye, y'all.